they're probably even already out there.
Hello, welcome to the Reloading Podcast here on the Firearms Radio Network, presented by Patriot Patch Company and Camerado. And the reason those three look surprised is I said time to go live, but I was still muted, so they had no freaking clue. The good news, we know my mute button works. Yay. The bad news for Chris, I didn't use it when just now when I cleared my throat. Anyway. So, how's everybody doing?
Good.
I survived Turkey Day, so I guess I'm doing okay.
Doing good.
Hey, Paul, you're kind of quiet.
A little quiet?
That's better.
That's better. Yep.
Yeah, I survived.
So we all survived Turkey Day.
Yep, survived Turkey Day. Survived Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So didn't go spending a lot of money. Didn't see anything that was really wanting. So yeah, I just.
There really isn't the deals out there anymore like there used to be.
No.
And the stupid thing is you got all these businesses that are open on Thursdays now too. So that's kind of killed Black Friday.
Yeah.
So, but at least you don't have people getting trampled to death anymore. So that's a bonus, I guess.
Yeah. Nick, what you been up to?
Not a ton. Yeah, we had a good Thanksgiving. Girlfriend came down. Was here for 5 days. Left on Sunday. Well, no, not 5. 4 or 5. One of the two. Dad was here, of course. We went to a gun show on Saturday. Stripped up a receiver for a project for a prairie dog hunt we got kind of planning in the background. So I'm debating on what caliber I'm going to build that out as. And then didn't plan on buying a gun, but there was a rifle there that was too good of a deal to pass on, and I had to walk away with it. So, but yeah, it's a kind of an uncommon rifle. It's a Belgian Mauser model 1889-16. A lot of them, they're the more common of all the Belgian Mausers, but most Belgian Mausers are still super hard to find. And this gentleman had it marked about half price of what they go for normally. So it was one of those things. It looked good, bore looked good. I'm like, might as well. I don't know why I'm running across another one. So
yeah, I don't really think he knew what he had because he didn't even know what caliber it was.
Yeah, he even said caliber unknown. He just said FN Mauser. That's all he had on his tag. So I'm walking, and we're just kind of strolling. Dad and I are. We're just strolling. We're like, it was only a half show compared to their normal show, and we're just like, we got nothing else to do. Let's just walk around and see what else they got. And I'm walking, and then all of a sudden I look in that rifle rack, and I'm like, wait, that's the barrel shroud of a 89 contract. Like, and then yeah, the rest is history. So
yeah, it's an unusual gun because of the barrel shroud on it.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people have never seen that one. But,
yeah, no, and most of the Belgians nobody really sees them because they got most of the long rifles got converted to what's known as the 89-36, which is the more tapered barrel that you're used to seeing from Mauser. And it goes from a cock on close to a cock on open. Yeah, most of the long rifles, when they were either shot out, broken stocks, they were just redone to those other carbines post-war. And then just these 16s are the only ones that were built with that barrel shroud. So, but yep.
And it's a carbine.
Yeah, it's carbine, and the carbines are also super cool. And this one's kind of got some history. I got to start doing some research on. Just found out from a friend last night. It was captured by the Prussians during World War One, and then was sold back to Belgium post World War One. So there's some interesting history to be learned on that. So,
And you know that how?
there is the Prussian eagle stamped on the receiver. So I was kind of interested. At first, it looks like a Polish eagle, and I was like, "Wait, when would Poland have gotten these? Maybe it was like a Lend-Lease thing. Belgium sold them to Poland after the war, because Poland just got decimated as well in World War One. I was like, okay, maybe they needed that, and it's like couldn't find any information on that. And I knew a guy that had a couple. I'm like, do you know what this mark is? He's like, oh, that's the Prussian, which it makes sense. Prussia is that southwestern Germany portion. So, but
Yeah.
But other than that, it was a good weekend and had a good time.
A lot of good food.
Yep.
Went and seen Wicked. Went and seen that. Not a bad movie.
Now, was that Mercedes that came by for the 4 days?
No.
No. Okay. All right.
Nope, it wasn't Babs.
Oh.
Nope.
That was She Who Now Shall Not Be Named.
Keep the identity secret.
Yep.
Well, then we went and seen this lovely lady to my left here. And seen Sharenda at her shop, and we didn't buy anything there, did we? I don't think so.
I don't remember. Nick was walking around holding on to one like it was a brand new baby that or puppy he wanted to adopt, but I don't think he ran out with it.
I wasn't holding a gun.
Yeah, you were.
There's one I would like to have.
You
but
picked up one and look at it, or
oh, I know. If it was about $400 cheaper, we would have bought it. But it will not be $400.
did you
cheaper.
ask?
It's a consignment.
Did
It
you
won't go that
ask?
low. No,
Did you ask?
I might have to go back.
I mean, you never know. Every once in a while, there'll be somebody around this time of year that'll come in and say, "Just call me if somebody wants to make an." Look, take the only child mentality. Worst they can tell you is no.
Yeah,
That's
no, that's
right.
true. It's a very interesting rifle. I know my dad knows where I'm going with it. What it is?
What
It's
is it?
it's a Rock Island 1903 Springfield,
Okay.
but it's serial number 386,000 exactly,
Interesting.
and
Eight.
so it's a high
Eight,
number. It's
six.
above that issue where they had issues, but somebody either chromed them or bought chromed barrel bands. The bottom metal and the front sight blade is all been chromed. So,
Okay.
but they want
that
1150. You
that's-
you can get the parts, no problem.
yeah,
But
but it sounds like it was a
parade gun.
parade gun. Yeah.
But the bore's still there. Bore's all good. It's just 1150, and then you'd have to put more money into it to make it back to original. And I wouldn't be buying it for that. I'd be buying it for the serial number. It's
Okay.
it's one of those things. It's such a cool serial number, how it's an even 1,000. So
I've already got a Rock Island in that range, so
yeah.
Okay, girl. What have you been doing?
Hunting and mentoring and on emergency standby for, hey, I got a deer. Can you come help me field dress it? Because nobody wants to YouTube or ask this crap before they decide they wake up on a Friday. I think I'm going to go hunt tomorrow for the first time. So I don't mind. I just like sounding like a nagging ass wife about it. It's been good. I learned a quicker way to field dress from a older gentleman. I was
Okay.
surprised no one had ever shown me that way before, but the oh, I got a deer last weekend. So the or was it the weekend? Yeah, it was last weekend. No, weekend before last. Um, so I got that one field dressed in like 12, 12 minutes,
Wow.
12, 15 minutes. So we
Shouldn't take long.
got muzzle loading coming up,
Field
What's
and I'm
what's
dressing.
going back
what's
out Friday.
what speeds it up?
It was the knife that I used. It was a gut knife that was round tipped. And it was I don't know, it was just because I part of it I already knew where most of the vital organs and stuff were. And we used I used a butt out for the first time.
Mm.
Yeah, they were nice.
I had one that somebody else had mentioned. It was one of those at the time I got it. It was $5. Of course, you got all these people. You don't need that, and I'm on this rampage where I'm like, I don't need you to tell me what I need. Can I just play with these PG-13 adult toys and just have fun and try out stuff? But the butt out, oh my gosh, I didn't have to break a pelvic bone or
Yeah.
No.
do nothing. It was really jab, twist, pull, done.
Yep.
So that saved me a good few minutes. It was great. We field dressed two deers in total of 15 minutes to both of us because me and my friend got one.
Nice.
Okay. Nice.
So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
then
you can
housework.
do it without the tool, but it is definitely quicker with the tool
Uh huh.
and,
Yeah.
and safer.
Yeah, it was cool to just try something different just to see how it worked. I showed the guy that showed me how to field dress quicker. He was like, then you have to worry about what if you're ick factor, what are you gonna do with it afterwards? I'm like, oh, I pulled out silicone, reusable, flexible bags, and all the people that were at camp were like, ooh, what's that? Of course, it was men. 'Cause, sometimes I don't know about these things. I'm like, yeah, just drop it in here. I don't get gross stuff. Drop my knife in there. I didn't have to worry about puncture or getting cut and got home and put some hot soapy water and bleach in it, washed it, let them dry done. And lots of housework. I've been painting and assembling. I don't like it. I don't. I've never look. I I don't like it. Not when you have to do it. And then I'm in my bedroom because it smells like paint. And my birds are being jerks right now, so I had to leave them in there by themselves. And I got new
Yeah,
toys.
birds are just slightly lower on the I'm an asshole pet scale than cat.
Well, they're felons. One of them
I
has
can,
figured out how to get out of the cage, so I have to bread twist it. And I
yeah.
think he's to the point where he may realize he can bite through those bread ties. I don't know.
You just got to make sure you got the one that's got the metal in the middle of it, then they can't bite through it.
We'll see, but I might have to end up having their wings clipped.
Oh,
I don't want to, but I still have people coming in and out the house. So if they get out, they may fly out the house. So
Well, clipping a wing isn't hard. You don't. You only clip one wing.
I'd rather not personally clip it. I think I may take them to the vet and clip it. I
Oh,
may.
Just put a
okay.
sign up on the front door that says we have birds and I have a taser. If you let my birds out, I will light you up by contacting your genitals.
Mike, I have a sign on my front door that says "Do not leave packages."
They
Directs
still
them
leave
to the
packages.
back. They still leave packages.
So I have a light up sign that says my house number on it because we're a half duplex and we still have Amazon drivers leaving packages on the neighbors.
Yep.
Why? People are stupid.
Agreed.
Let's face it. I try and be nice, but let's face it. There are people out there, their mom should have just swallowed.
Look,
I'm just saying. I worked a lot of retail, and they thought just comes back time after time.
Ah, well,
yeah. Oh, I got some
By the
some
way,
gadgets.
congratulations and awesome. I saw your post.
Thank you.
That is freaking kick ass.
What, the deer?
No, the other one.
Oh, the what is it called? Athletic, as one girl has dubbed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. In case anybody was wondering, not that you guys cared, every year I post, a reason to be outdoors or try it. So this year I posted from the last couple of years from when I first started until now that no gym, no nothing, no diet or anything. I've lost 62 pounds. So I showed a before picture, morphed it into my outdoor activities and my current, and just focus on it, not worry about being thin, just focus on being stronger, active, healthier. And I've done nothing but try to climb trees, and my health's improved. So just a little friendly motivation.
congrats.
So thank you.
Yep, good deal.
Congrats. Yeah, speaking of stupid delivery people, FedEx is taking the cake now. When you ask for a signature and they don't, they
Oh
just
yeah.
drop it off. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jeff Daniels posted a good sharp knife of green. He never had to break a pelvis to get a butthole cut out. Yes, but when you're learning and you always have that one person that wants to show you their way and tell you this has to be done, and that's all you stick to doing it for a while until you learn different methods. So anytime somebody is offering, can I show you something? Heck yes, you got 20 years hunting experience
Mm-hmm.
over me. I'll take it and I'll combine it or do what works best for me. So I never not accept for someone to show me how to do something different or new.
But I'll tell you what, that butt out works like a charm.
Oh, it does, but
It
if
did.
you ever have to quarter out an elk, okay, um,
You're gonna need a bone saw.
you're gonna need a bone saw or a hatchet to bust the pelvis out anyway. So,
But what if I just
okay.
decide to do the
Mm.
WWE elbow off the top rope? Won't that break it?
Well,
Yeah.
I already have an agreement in my circle that if any of us ladies ever draw an elk tag, everybody's on standby during that hunt
Okay.
because it's gonna take several of us to pull that out. We may even have to beg somebody's husband to use their side by side or ATV. It's
Right?
it's it's we made that pact when Missouri started allowing reintroducing elk hunts back or open them back up. We made that pact. It's gonna be a group effort to go get it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, as soon as the first person shows me how to quarter an elk without busting a pelvic bone, I'll I'll listen. I mean, it's just then it's walking the damn thing out. So,
Yeah, there really isn't
Mhm.
a way to do
yeah.
that.
No.
Mhm.
So
No.
And I
So,
do carry a bone saw, but I think I want to get a different one. Um, I don't know. I'm still working on it. Every year I end up taking something out or finding that one staple piece. So it's still a work in progress.
well, I
always
mean
will be.
you're always advancing, you're always swapping out your gear because you're always finding deficiencies in your gear.
Hmm.
I mean, even if let's say you win the lottery, okay? Just stupidity here for a second. We'll step out of reality and you win the lottery. like one of the Powerballs or the Mega Millions, it's over $1 billion, and you're going to just outfit an elk rig. There is stuff that you're going to grab because somebody told you it was great,
Mm-hmm.
and they're a friggin' idiot. And all of a sudden, you're out in the middle of the hunt, and you find out it's garbage. Now, the only advantage you have at that point in time is you hop on the sat phone, you call the helicopter, have the helicopter fly out there because you're friggin' rich.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's the same with reloading, which kind of was our topic tonight about oddball tools. And, you know, everybody's got their own little quirks and, you know, little things that they do. I think probably one of the biggest oddball tools that most of us know about is your lovely little awesome tool for finding incipient head case separation. And what is that tool, everyone?
Paperclip.
A friggin' paper quip. Yeah. So I mean, there's an oddball tool.
Or what's that that one plastic thing that Nick gosh, I'm drawing a blank on it. Was it the trim?
Oh, the pipe chamfer
Yeah,
deburring tool.
that thing is like what, $1 or $2?
Yeah, they're cheap.
Yeah.
They're like nothing. You
Yeah,
can buy
they
a
may be
2-pack
cheaper
on
than that.
Amazon for like $4.
I think at the
At
time
most.
I got mine, they were cheaper. They were probably
Yeah.
around 2 something back then.
Yeah, and they're nice because if I load all the oddball stuff and your standard chamfer deburring tools only go up to I think 45 or 50 cal.
Yeah.
And sometimes those don't even work, so I need that bigger chamfer deburring tool. So it's like we found them cheap enough, might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll get stuff that, you know, I hear you guys recommend. I'm not needing them yet, but I know at some point I will. So, you know, with inflation, I might just go ahead and get it now, and then that way when I do need it or get to that point, I spent $2 versus 12 or 20 that it is a year or
Right.
two later.
I can't tell you how many of those I've sold in the last 2 years to people. Not
Because you
me
bought 'em in
personally
bulk?
selling them. No, not me
Oh.
personally selling them. Just telling people, hey, this is the best tool to have if you're loading 577 Martini, 577 Snyder, any of your big bore case cartridges, old black powder cartridges. Screw fighting with the little ones. Get the big one. It allows you to get a nice grip on it and just really get that nice chamfer and deburr on those cases. And I probably sold all the guys I know that reload all the Millistrip cartridges, probably 10 of them. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think I have it up here. Nope.
Matter of fact, let me grab my notebook because I got a feeling y'all gonna throw some stuff out there that I didn't think about or didn't know about. I'm running into that again, like some of you experience and old timers or reveal something suddenly, and I was like, well, why didn't you buttheads tell me that X amount of years ago? Oh, I didn't think about it because you're just
Well,
it's just robotic for you.
sometimes it's stuff that maybe you'll need once ever,
Yeah.
but it's that, you know, one time you'll need it that you want to have it. So
Hey, bench addict.
yeah, you did, you putz. So for those of you who don't get the joke, Bench Addicts LLC is Rabbit Hole for his reloading tool that he makes, or his tool that he makes for reloading. So if you go back a few shows, actually more than a few shows now, but
What you drinking there, Ray?
Arnold Palmer.
always a good choice. I have Fago Moon Mist.
Yeah.
I got one of my birthday gifts early, and it's coffee with eggnog in it.
When's your birthday?
Ooh.
It next Tuesday? Yeah, next Tuesday.
I guess we're gonna have to sing to you.
I'll take it.
No cake. So, but yeah, we'll sing to you. So, um, uh, I was at a loss of what to talk about this evening, and so I asked the Peanut Gallery, as I do sometimes.
which is Discord.
Yes,
I
but
think this is a great topic tonight.
I'm trying to think of what old tool that or hidden tool that I have that I don't use a lot, and there aren't many.
I got a
mean,
couple. I got a Paul, a Ray, a Jim.
I mean, you know, tools that a lot of people don't have, but many people do. You know, primer pocket depth tool. You know, primer pocket seating tool. How deep the primer pocket is seated. Um, uh, Case trimming tools. Uh, you know, some
bullet
people
tippers.
don't. Yeah, but case trimming tools. You know, the old file dies. You know, where you have an extended shell holder
Oh
and
yeah,
then you run the case up into the die. Then you take a file and you file off
yep.
the excess, or cut it first with a hacksaw or a jeweler's saw, and then go in there and file it, and then trim it up. Um, yeah, that was before we had the rotary tools and everything, and you had to make your own cases and stuff like that. Um, Body dies. Not a lot of people use body dies anymore. I use them. Um,
I would like to see that.
do I have any here? No, don't have any up here right now. So, um, but yeah, that's some of the stuff that you know that gets used all the time. Bullet sorting tools, you know, that type of stuff. I don't know how many people sort bullets anymore.
Yeah.
I still do because I haven't bought a bullet sorting tool. It's one of those out of sight, out of mind things.
Tell you some of the oddball tools. And this is probably more for a beginning reloader. Is a stuck case tool. And before I even bought the one from RCBS, I just used, of course, a drill bit, quarter by 20 tap to drill out the case, a small piece of PVC pipe to fit around the shell, and some fender washers and a quarter 20 bolt and to remove the stuck case. That I think Lyman makes some of the sieves for different calibers. You know, if you've got a bunch of brass, you got to sieve out and stuff like that.
What is this stuck case thing you talk about?
I know you've never had one, but
It
some of
doesn't
us
have.
have.
I sure the hell have tried. Oh my gosh! One of these days, I'm going to stick one. So
It's not possible when you want to do one.
right,
It's when you don't want to do one.
it's 3 shows we've done on stuck cases. I've tried to stick cases on 3 separate shows.
Yeah.
Next time, soak your dye in alcohol. Soak your brass in alcohol.
Well,
I
we
hosed
use
them down with brake cleaner.
We
Yeah,
use
that's
brake
great.
cleaner right on the show.
Yeah.
He sprayed them down with brake cleaner, the dye and the case.
And he couldn't get the stick.
No.
Couldn't get it to stick.
Wow. Wow.
Mm.
Full length size, the 30-06 case. No, didn't.
No, it was a 270 case.
Oh, 270. That's right, 270. Yes.
Or was
You
it?
know.
No, it was a 243 into a 308. Same difference.
Yeah. It just no. All trying to show off, how to drill out a case and use the remover, or use a Lyman, not a Lyman, a Lee die, with its stem to
Mhm.
tap out the case.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just
I guess my question is, on some of these cases, or when you get the case stuck, can't you get the expander ball out still?
no.
Mhm.
No.
Because of the way that the case is stuck in the die.
Case is stuck in the die. The expander ball stays in the it hits the shoulder, and you
Won't
got
pull through.
won't pull through. So
You usually end up ripping the rim, and
yep.
Mhm.
That's another
I've
thing.
seen.
That's the nice thing about those little jeweler saws. Once you get the kit, either unstuck the case, or like I like RCBS dice because you can unscrew your whole system. And I'll just trim it, and then push it out the rod all the way through the case, and I just chuck that piece of brass.
Yeah.
I really
Pipe cutter.
don't fight with it. Yeah, pipe cutter's the same thing.
if you don't
but
have the
little
saw, use
jeweler
a pipe
saws,
cutter.
Yeah, but I don't even fight with them.
Jeweler saw is handy. Okay?
It is.
I mean,
it is very handy. It's what, $25-$30 at Harbor Freight,
Yeah.
and they last forever. So
And
I don't know if I've ever had a
thing you used to cut
blade.
rings off.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All it is a real fine wire that's has mine are diamonds, but some of them are carbide, and just little pieces of carbide on there, and you just looks like a coping saw with this wire.
Oh, okay.
That's all.
Oh, you're talking about the little Nick. You're talking about the little looks like a chop saw.
Yeah,
that we
that's
do.
You could,
Yeah.
but jeweler saw you could do the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, same thing.
I just pull my whole stem out through the bottom of the die, make it to where I know none of my decapping rod or pin or my expander ball is going to get cut, and I just cut it right above the
base.
And then I just slide the whole thing out to the bottom of the brass, and I don't even fight with the case removal tool anymore. It's just a pain in the butt trying to set it all up, and when I can just screw that whole thing down, as long as I have the room, that's the biggest thing. Or I just take it up through the die body or through the press head, and I don't even fight with those tools. They're a pain in the butt to try to set up and just get all the tools out, and you're wasting at most $1.50. Big deal.
That's what that's what a case is, right?
Yeah,
$1.50, and with a stuck case removal tool, you're in the same boat.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Yeah,
and especially if you can't find your stuck case removal tool, then you got to go get one, or you're wasting the gas money. And
I mean, for most people, they can go out and buy a quarter 20 tap. What is it? 7/16 or so, or no, a 3/8 drill bit, or a little bigger, and drill it, tap it, use a socket from
Yep.
from a 1/2 inch or 3/8 socket set and a
That'll
washer,
work.
and it'll pull it right off. You don't have to go buying anything, other than, everybody should have a quarter 20 tap around their house somewhere.
Yep.
So, um, yeah. Uh,
And that's where a single stage press comes in nice, because once you remove the die, just feed it backwards up through there, then you're working above.
right. Yeah. A little shop vac,
Yep, that's a good one. Yep.
clean up the chips, and you're pretty much back in the business. Clean the die out after you get done pulling the case, and
Ooh, put that on my
yeah,
Christmas list. Little shop vac.
yeah.
Yep.
I just
And
use
pick that
my
back.
Shark, which I use for vacuuming up primers and powder too,
Hmm.
all at the same time. That way I get it all in there, all nice.
Yeah, it's the beater bar that does the can set the primer off, but powder goes too fast up the tube in order for it to blow up. So,
Oh my gosh.
and the
Yeah,
primers.
I've got a little shop vac that's probably a gallon. It's not much at all and works perfect for the bench.
Yeah, you know. Um,
Compressed air is nice
Here's
to
the
have.
funny comment for the night. Bench addict. I'm doing my best to think of something pretty off the wall, but I keep drawing a blank because most of it seems like normal stuff to me. Oh, bench addict.
well,
So
and this is bench addict, okay? All right. So an off the wall tool, yeah, yeah. That's a bullet genie, okay? So it's supposed to find uh, irregular bullet jackets and stuff like that, and out around bullets. So yeah, there's an oddball tool.
mm-hmm. So and then he was talking about the Vern Yuki Yankee machine, whatever that is. That
That's
I
the
don't know.
same thing. It's the same
Oh,
thing.
okay.
It's
Just
a
a different company.
different company,
Okay.
and they're yeah, that's an oddball tool. Not a, that 1 in 500 or one in maybe 1,000 people have one of those. You
Yeah.
know, um, so
Yeah, not something that many people are using. So
nope.
What did he say in that chat? So he said the he said the Bob Green bullet comparator says it measures tip to ogive. So instead of base to ogive.
Mm-hmm.
So Oder Sigerson said, I guess the roll sizer tool is not a very interesting. Darn, thought it was something new. Guess not. Sorry. So, the
Well,
roll sizer actually is not new. It is interesting. We actually had Kevin on. When? Now I got to look it up.
it's it is an interesting tool. A lot of pistol shooters run a roll sizer. Um,
Episode 314.
Oh, jeez, that's going back years.
Yeah,
well, it's only 211 episodes ago, so it's not bad.
yeah.
Um, but uh, a roll sizer for rifle cases is new. Okay, that's something that um, wasn't uh, used much. Let's call it that way, and experimented with. Um,
I know he was talking about it way back when, even, but there wasn't a lot of demand for it because there wasn't a lot of. So the advantage of the biggest advantage of the roll sizer, why you would use it, is your full length sizing die, whether it pistol or rifle, is a misnomer. It does not
mhm.
full length size. Why? Well, first off, there's this thing called a shell holder that gets in the way. So that plus the die just frankly even if you're even for what your shell holder doesn't cover up, the die just is not designed to go all the way down to the bottom of the case. It does
And,
not go
and
all the way to the extraction groove. It doesn't go all the way to the rim if that's the case, whatever the
they're
case may be.
they're beveled. Okay, I mean,
So,
they have a bevel at the end of the. They're not milled off flat.
no.
There's a bevel there. That way, it draws when it draws the case up. When you push the case up into the die, the that bevel is taking and helping to roll the brass back into the size of the case. So
Yep.
you have that bevel there. Um, radius or whatever the die carries. That's what you have. And no, it will not get anywhere close to that 200 line or where where the case head comes in at.
Nope.
Um, and in recent years, um, people have been pushing their cartridges harder,
Mm-hmm.
and they've been going through a lot of brass quickly because they can't get it there, and they have a hard time then closing the bolt on that case because of the expansion at that point. Um, re- Gives you what they call a clicker now. Okay, it's called a clicker. Before we just had, your case head grew, and you're not watching your pressures, and we think of nothing nowadays of 63,000 psi cartridges, um, and people are pushing that to 70 and 80,000. And sorry guys, but at 80,000, brass expands, and your case head is going to grow, and you can't get there to size it. You're going to have difficulties chambering that cartridge into a gun. So yes, they've come out with roll sizers now that are in the $600 range that you can roll size. Um, you know, uh,
223 and 308.
yeah, and Magnum cartridges now. So you know,
Rimmed
not the belt,
cartridges.
not the belted Magnums, but other ones. In belted Magnums, there's a guy that makes a die that has a collet that reduces the belt.
Yeah. The
But,
fact that you can do rimmed in this now is
yeah,
huge. So, I mean, Kevin's come a long way with this. It's just an awesome product. But it's one of those oddball ones that not a lot of people, excuse me, not a lot of people would think of and realize. Hell, if you probably went to most pistol reloaders, I would be willing to guess that it's probably 60% have never heard of the roll sizer. They just don't. They've never heard of it. So
now you get large or even small ammo, reloaders. They will have a roll sizer because certain 9mm and 40 Smith and Wesson cases out of Glocks, out of older Glocks, had
the bulge.
problems with the bulge, and the Glock bulge, and Glock wasn't the only one that had that problem.
No, there was other ones, but the Glock's the famous one.
Right.
So, Six Pack Project said probably the most oddball tool on the bench is a quarter. He said it's really convenient to help set gas checks on the shank for bullets. I'd like him to elaborate on how he does that. That'd be cool to know, because I've never used gas checks to begin with. But
Yeah, I like to see what he's talking about myself.
I
like to see it as well.
I've set gas checks, but I've set gas checks with a Seiko lubing tool. I mean, where you put the gas check on the bottom, you set the bullet on top, you come down to lube it, it pushes down and sets the gas check. A gas check is just a copper cup that's open on the bottom, a little wider as the bullet gets pushed in, the gas check gets crimped into the base of the bullet. If it's got a taper to it, then I guess a quarter would set a gas check. So, yeah.
No, Autodot is not an oddball tool because it's still just a neck turner. It's just a hoity-toity rich person neck turner. So, so there you go.
Well, it's one of the few tools that will do the inside and the outside of the neck as it turns the neck. Even though K&M has a carbide insert, you can turn the inside and the outside at the same time. Most people don't do that. They don't want to spend the $50 or so for each caliber and turn the inside and the outside at the same time. And it's not as fancy as the Autodot, which is CNC controlled. So, but it is you're right. It is a very high end neck turning tool. Let's face it. We have amp annealing machine. We have the amp bullet seater. Yeah, they're high end. A lot of people are using.
There's a
them
lot
now.
there's a lot of high end stuff out there, but it's not
Right.
oddball. It's just for people who have the money to spend.
Right.
So, Daryl Errett, sorry, Daryl, I slaughtered your last name, says I use a nonstick tortilla baking bowl under my powder dispenser. The ruffled edges make it easier to pour back into the dispenser powder jar. See, there's an oddball tool that works.
That gives me an idea. Nick can contest to this. I take the top of either a 2 liter soda bottle or just a regular soda bottle, plastic, cut it up, and it makes a wide mouth funnel when I'm pouring powder back into my containers. That when you empty out your uh, Uniflow or whatever, and just gives you a big wider funnel to pour into.
Ed wants to know, is the Hornady neck turner any good, or is there anything better that will break the bank?
I gotta tell you, for most people, the K&M is the way to go. But Sinclair makes them. RCBS makes them. They're. Um, I'm just not enamored with the Hornady design
Nope.
on the lathe
I
type.
concur. I do like the RCBS design. I've actually used it, and I did like it. I've not done the K&M. And Billy, K&N's the air filter company for your car. You goofball. So, K&M Precision.
Yep.
Off we go. Oh, that's right. They got that fancy neck turning kit.
Yeah. You can get Century 21. That'll break the bank.
Well, so I would recommend maybe, depending on budget, probably RCBS first option, then K&M maybe your next option, because K&M starts their kits start at 3 and go up from there. So where the RCBS isn't.
Yeah. The kit isn't really all.
I mean, if you're only doing one cartridge, then you can probably get it cheaper. But
Yeah. Do you need the adjustment stem and this? No. Okay, you can set it by hand without that. Comes do you need the carbide cutting tool? No, you can get away with steel. You do need an expander that goes to go with it, but you can buy an expander that will fit without too much of a problem. Handle and shell holder and stuff like this. Yeah, it works nice.
Mm-hmm.
Handle here drops in.
So the nice thing about the RCBS is theirs is designed to work with the Trim Pro. So basically, if you already have the RCBS Trim Pro or the Trim Pro 2, you can get their neck trim kit and it goes right on there. So now you don't have a whole nother piece of equipment taking up space in your bench. That's the nice thing about that. So you're looking at a lot less cost. So.
Well, I can go that way with a Forester too. They have a neck turning tool that fits on the Forester.
Right. I would probably go Forester over RCBS.
The question I have over that is the accuracy of being able to set it.
How so?
These actually have a dial when I go in to set these, so I can loosen this up and it has a mark on there, and it tells me that every uh, half thou where I'm at with by this, and I can divide that up into you know 2 10 thou.
Right. But I mean, that's
Yeah.
what you're getting by buying the more expensive tool in the first place.
Right. And
So I mean, that's not necessarily the
with the Forester, I have to. I'll probably lose a couple of cases by the time I get it set to where I want it to be, because all it is a sleeve that runs on the outside, and the outside of the shaft, and there are no ways to measure as I set the set screw in, which is the cutting piece. It's an oval cutting piece instead of a flat cutting piece that's on the
so
K&M.
maybe the RCBS is better.
RCBS makes a hand one too that
Yes.
I like, um, and it comes with a shell holder that's part of it, and so you can set it, and
Yeah,
you do have to
their hand turner is $75.
right, and I'm not sure what a K&M runs now.
K&M for their kit starts at $350.
Yeah, you don't want to buy a kit though.
So
Yeah, I mean, the neck the neck turner is turner body with cutter is between 60 and $90 depending upon what cutter you get, and um, carbide cutters are going to be more than the steel cutters. So you're looking at, let's call it $60 there. Um, a a pilot is $15, and a power adapter is another $30. Call it $100. You're gonna
okay.
get in. You're gonna get into um, their setup.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So So Daryl said he just read that Hodgson bought RCBS. What are some of the pros or cons that'll result? Yeah, that's actually been quite a while now. That was
nothing.
that was June, I think. But so the first thing that happened is production has increased. RCBS is actually putting out product at a grand scale. So it's actually a good thing because Hodgson and RCBS are actually intertwined over the history of reloading in this country. As far as modern reloading, shall we say? Because I mean, you've got reloading back in the 1800s. So, So you've got kind of that, but they are kind of intertwined. The person that created RCBS and Mr. Hodgson kind of worked together to kind of really get reloading going after World War II and really get it off the ground and stuff. So, along with a few others, there's a few others that were involved. I'm not going to go through the history of it here. So someday we'll do a history show, but so overall, it's a good thing because now you have RCBS for probably the last 8-10 years at least has been owned by a company that was more interested in profit than quality of product and making stuff that actually is good for the market and is stuff that people are looking for. Hence all their different charge master options and all of that. So it's going to take a couple years to get our CBS back on complete track, but they have a plan. Excuse me. I want to say it's Joel Hodgson is the one that's been put in charge of our CBS. He was with Remington Ammo for a while, but he's back with the company, with the family business, and he's running our CBS now. And he's been on Gresham a couple times. He's been on a few other shows.
It was Redding and everybody else 5 years ago, okay, as far as quality reloading equipment. Single stage, I'm not going to go into progressive or anything like that. Single stage. And Lyman came out and started to, with their Brassmith line, and started to expand and improve their products. And RCBS just kind of, now they're starting, their products are starting to improve. Their presence is being more felt. I haven't seen them start coming up. They've tried to come out with their more expensive die sets, but they're having problems with keeping up with a lot of them. Their gold medal die sets are hard to come by.
Yeah.
Whereas you can go to Redding and you can drop the $250 to $300 on a full match set without too much of a problem, and they'll have it in stock. So, and Lyman has come out with a few with their stuff, but RCBS is still got the press that everybody wants to start with, the rock chucker. And
absolutely, they almost killed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they tried real hard.
Well, they did kill it, to be honest. They brought out the Summit, they brought out the Rebel, and they pulled the Rock Crusher. It was actually about the time we had them on the show. They had actually pulled the Rock Crusher from production. And I don't know exactly what brought it back. But yeah, Billy had an awful time with his. Billy Nagy had an awful time with his Summit. He broke that puppy 3-4 times.
Yeah.
And it's not like he's a huge beast of a man where he's like Arnold Schwarzenegger back in his Mr. Olympia days, and he's horsing on this thing.
Well, he was. He was reforming 308 military cases to 22 250,
Right.
and you got to horse a little bit to get there.
Right. But what I'm
But
saying is it's not like he's, exerting more force than the average human would on the average reloading press.
mhm.
So,
Yeah, but a rock crusher to reform cases was the real reason for that press, and a lot of people use that to form bullets.
yeah,
Which
first
is
waging.
really a tough job to do.
Right.
And that's just a 22 caliber bullet, reusing 22 caliber
Brass.
brass. So it's a tough job. Um, so
Yeah. So,
uh,
yeah, they did make the mistake and they pulled the rock chucker, but they brought it back. Um,
yeah,
the
rock
Rebel and
chucker's
the
cool
Summit are
now.
still out there.
Yeah,
So,
the
I don't know if they'll keep them both or not. Or keep them all. The Summit is kind of different from everything else because of the way it operates. It's kind of upside down, I guess we could say.
kinda, yeah. It brings the die down to
Or I should say
the
backwards, not
case.
upside down.
Yeah, it operates backwards. In other words, instead of moving the case up into the die, you're moving the die down to the case. So you know, yeah, I use it. I like it. It's a great way to load ammunition. You can get you don't need that long bar on there. You can get a short bar and do everything you need to do other than reform cases on it. I reformed a case on there? Yes, I have reformed 50 22 250 cases from 22 Creedmoor,
Hmm.
and so with just one die. So just with a full length 22 250 die, and they're
So,
it's okay, but there are other presses that make it work better. And the rock chucker is the one that I would pick.
hmm
Um,
what about the Reading Big Boss?
oh,
Would that
great
work?
press, great
Okay.
press. Yeah, great press. Strong as as can be. Now, you got to understand, I have gone through two rock chuckers in my
I know you have.
reloading, so the people out there know that I have worn them out. The ram going up and down has come to the point where there was too much play in it, and so it was time to switch presses. I switched to the Summit, and are there other presses out there? Yeah, I mean,
What did you
I
do with your?
I junked them.
Oh, you just junked them.
Yeah, I
Didn't think
mean,
about sending them into RCBS to have them rebuilt.
no,
Okay.
no. I mean, I
I
had
suppose
one
at
of
that
their.
point in time they're probably worth more than scrap.
Yeah, what would they do? Send me a new press, and I wanted something different after the second one.
Yeah.
So, but the Summit, I got to say about the Summit is it keeps a lot of the primer um, and carbon uh, elements out of the press, so they're not being affected on the RAM uh, like the rock chucker has a
Hmm.
problem with. With as you punch the primer out, it's going down the ram. and falls into the little tray that it has there, and that's it. Um, that's the killer on a rock chucker. Um, I got a little tube now that it runs down on the summit, and it stays clear, and there's no problem with it. Um, the summit has got a grease fitting in the back. So, but loyalty, yeah, I'm green. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm green. And have I had a red machine? Yeah, I've had a red machine. Got rid of that. It went back 2 or 3 times to Hornady to get retimed, and I finally said, no, that was it. Wouldn't stay in time. Um,
Progressive or single stage?
Progressive,
Yeah, I do not like the timing on.
yes.
I don't remember what
Yeah.
show it was, but I actually played with my lock and load AP progressive, and the two little nipples that were down on the bottom for part of the timing system.
Yep.
One of the nipples broke,
Mm-hmm.
so I actually had to order that from Hornady. Yeah,
Yeah.
not impressed with that at all. So,
Yeah.
6-pack projects, hoping that they bring back the mini grand.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
if they will, because there's quite a few companies in the shot shell market.
Now
the mini
that is
grand.
that is a red machine that I do like. Is their 366 press
Yes.
for reloading shot shells. It's a simple, easy to use machine that you can set up left or right handed, put on a couple of blocks, and you can really turn out, you know, 500 or 1,000 rounds in a day without too much of a problem. As long as you got powder and shot and wads, you can't stop that press. Um, have never used an SL900 from Dillon.
I have not
So
either.
don't know it. I've used the P&W. P&W is nice, but I could never get used to putting the shell in from underneath.
I've got that 800. I haven't used it yet, so yeah, I think that'll take some getting used to. Travis has got one, and he loves it. So
if you got used to putting that shell in from underneath every time, it's not a problem. But I've been so used to sitting there just pushing the shell in, slide it in.
Yeah, I mean, the 9,000 you slide it in, the 366 you slide it in. So
yeah, all the other presses are slid in other than the P&W. So okay, P&W's got the shell holder that it goes around with, and it makes a really nice crimp. It has some really advantages to it because of the way it holds it. But I never had a problem with my 366s.
Like that one 6-pack project? Should I get one like that?
Yeah.
That one I have to thank Paul Nelson for. So
he had kids to keep in shells.
Yeah. Yeah, they were shooting trap 2 nights a week, and I was loading that on a 600. So
I called him up. I said, meet me, and he got it.
Yep.
Progressive presses. I got to tell you, um, the one I'm most familiar with nowadays is the 550, which is about all most people need. Um, if you're big time into handgun reloading and 223, then a Dillon 1100 or 1050. Um, I have an original RL 1000 back over there somewhere. Um, they're starting to make parts again for it, so it may come out again. But at this point,
Well,
they
the
don't make
1100
parts.
uses a lot of the same parts as the 1000.
No,
I thought.
uh. 1100 just a little smaller than the 10, Super 1050,
Okay.
so it doesn't. The RL 1000 will reload 30-06 cases, and the Super 1050 is limited to 308. Um, Dylan made the RL 1000 with mostly stainless steel parts on it, so um, the lock ring has a tendency um, to gall if it's not taken apart and cleaned every so often. So you have to be careful there. Um, but at the time, it was $3,000, and it was a good press. Now you can buy them for half that.
Yep.
You know, they've gone and improved the 650 with the 750 now, but as most people will find out, um, the 550 will reload just about everything. I don't think there's anything that can't reload. And it it's the only thing you don't have is the automatic advance on the case, and sometimes that can screw people up with the case advancing too early or too late or whatever, or them short stroking the handle or stuff like that. Um, Up and coming, um, Frankfurt Arsenal's FX10. It needs a little tweaking still,
Mm-hmm.
um, but it's a decent press. Um, Hi Alexa. Um, yeah, it's a decent press. It's I ain't gonna give it the highest honors there, but for under $1,000, yeah, you're doing good. You can't get a 750 for what it costs, and it does more things.
Yep.
Um, Specialized presses. I mean, we have the coax, which is three to $400 now. We have the Nexus press, which is what it's up to $800, and we have the Fort Area 419 turret press, which is $1,300. Um, Neat presses, all of them are neat.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, just haven't figured out if there's a great demand for it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are up and down swearing they're good. Either and any of them are good. Um, but then I can say the same thing about a Redding or a Rock Chucker or um, any of the other ones that are out there. Um, Hell, I can go to um, uh, what is it? Powder measures, and they have their presses, their custom presses. Sinclair makes a custom press. Um, some of them are pretty neat. I think there's one press out there that they make that has got a regular sizing die set up in it, and then the next side bay it has a arbor press type setup, so you can just take your inline seating die and use it as an arbor press without having to have a separate arbor press out. Um, then I have not handled a 419 press yet. I have talked to people that have them. They like them. Um, but is it worth the $1,300? For some people, yes, it is worth the money. Um, but there are other presses out there now that I think come close as far as the accuracy and everything else it has. It's a big chunk of aluminum you got hanging out there, and so take it with a grain of salt with the special shell holders and everything else they use. You got quite an investment there. Um, Powder dispensers and powder measures and powder handling equipment. Um, we've got everybody makes a electronic dispenser nowadays.
Yep.
Um, and you can go from under $200 for one up to uh, $5,000, depending upon what you want. Um, you have the Prometheus is out there. Um, you have a couple of new ones that are coming out. Super Trickler, the Auto Trickler is out there, version 4, and the a new one is coming out that is going to be depending upon the scale you put it on, is going to be even more accurate than the V4 or the Super Trickler. Both of the Super Trickler and the V4 are based on the FX 120i scale, which is 2/100ths of a grain. Um, the Prometheus is going to be to the grain, and this new one is going to be with you can set it up with uh, a Sagittarius scale, and you can get it to go to uh, a thousandth of a grain. Um, so the more advanced, the higher the cost is, the higher the accuracy it's going to have. Um, we can go to old-fashioned way of you know RCBS, Frankfurt, Lyman, they all make a powder drop system, with a handle where you click it up and down. You have um, culver measures that are out there that, instead of having it come down, the powder drop is off to the side. It fills it up that way. Um, they're quite a bit more accurate. The culver type measures are than the tube type filling that you have with the RCBS, the Lyman, and the Reading. Um, Surprisingly, Lee makes one that's got a elastomer cutting mouth on it, and it's accurate. I mean, it's $20-$30 now, and it's damn accurate. If you can get used to it, telling you how to do it in CCs. So, what else we got out there, guys? Come on.
I think we'll take a second and talk about Patriot Patch Company. So, I've got I haven't gotten, obviously it's only the 3rd of December right now, so haven't gotten my December patch of the month yet. So we're going to roll with our November. So this was the November patch of the month. I like my turkey well peppered. And then you've got the original drawing. So that's kind of what you get every month. You get a sticker and the morale patch, Velcro backed. And then the original drawing. You can head over to our website and you can sign up there. So that's you can head over to firearmsradio.net and then get the Reloading Podcast and click on the support the show, and then you can sign up to be Patch a Month Club member there through Patreon. So also want to talk about Camerado. So this is a couple of different patterns of Camerado. So we've got this one here, and then we've got the original. So he's got a whole bunch on the website, CAMORADO.com. Use coupon code RELOAD. Save some money. So anybody got any shout outs? All right. All right, gang. So Brenda's trying to connect again with no luck. Maybe.
Daryl, he's telling me electronic is too slow for too much money. Some of them are really fast
yes
now.
and no.
Some
So
of them
Daryl,
are-
yes and no. It depends on how much you're spending the money on. So
and the accuracy you're looking for.
right.
And You can ask me, do I trust balance beam? The only balance beam I can trust would be a Prometheus, but it's fully enclosed, so you know, um, speed-wise, that's yeah. There's lots of electronic vibrating type uh, items that will vibrate, kernels of powder at a time. Um, and a good scale will react in less than a second. So um, they've gotten a lot faster.
I mean, is it quick? Is it going to be as quick as a powder throw once you get the powder throw set up? No. But there are advantages and disadvantages to everything. So, powder throw goes by volume, not by weight. So it's kind of a different story there. So unless you have a volumetric way to check it, you're not guaranteed to be consistently accurate with a powder throw. So, but if you're well, I should say, kind of. I mean, there's details in that. We've gone into that in the past. I'm not going to sit here and go into it now. So, because we'd be here for another 2 hours talking about that. So, easily, just on that specific part. Okay. So, you can do it all sorts of different ways. I mean, I've got the Frankfurt Arsenal IntelliDropper, and it's pretty good. Honestly, it'll throw a charge pretty quick. But when I'm using it, I'm not trying for fast. I mean, that's kind of the thing that makes me wonder, because if you want speed, use a progressive. If you're using a powder dispenser, you're going for accuracy over speed. And that's the point of the electronic powder dispenser, especially some of the fancier ones that are going to hundredths, not tenths. So you got to kind of figure out your happy medium there. So on that one. But Sharonda, you got any shout outs? If you can get your microphone to work.
No, not at the moment.
All right. So on that note, gang, thanks for everybody tuning in. Thanks for everybody participating in the topic tonight. Had some fun. It was interesting. Talked about a lot of interesting things. Some people know, some people don't. Yeah, Daryl, if that's not what you're looking for, then go with a powder drop. Be done with it. So if you're looking for straight speed, that's probably your better bet. So get one of the Reddings. They're really nice, really consistent overall. So they're definitely worth the money. But yeah, I mean, kind of what you're trying to do. Like everything in this game, what you buy is dictated by what's your end goal. So, and that's kind of what that's kind of what we're here to help you figure out. So, we'll come up with something to talk about next week. And until then, keep your brass shiny.
Jump on the Millsip short bus.
You got to unmute, Ray.
Let me unmute. Teach them to shoot and reload when they're young.
Teach a lady to reload and let her pinch off your stash a little bit. It's still hard out here.
Grandpa told me, he says, don't listen to your mama. Violence does solve problems.
Make sure you're supporting the Second Amendment, especially the organizations that are fighting to make sure the Second Amendment is interpreted the way it's supposed to be. So every day, some idiot politician's trying to come up with a new way to violate it. And so every day we've got to figure out new ways we've got to haul those idiots into court and fight for it. So and just kind of gotta keep fighting. So we won the election, but now the hard part is really going to set in. We got to get the court cases, the right court cases to the Supreme Court to get the precedent set. And then we've got to get the executive branch to get off their dead carcass and enforce it. It's going to be an interesting ride. What you need to do is you need to start really making sure you're paying attention heavily to your local, your state, your national or elected representatives. Pay attention to what's going on. Don't let them try and sneak stupid stuff through. A lot of these states that are passing these laws, the people who are living in these states are tired of their taxes continue to go up. And if you can go from that angle and let people know that if this bill passes, if this bill becomes law, then it's going to cost them more in taxes because they're going to have to go to court to defend it. And they're going to have to go to court again and again and again and again and again. And so, you know, they need to kind of realize what's happening. And it's not necessary. It's not that the people who are passing these laws know they're not going to stand. They absolutely know they're not going to stand. But what they're banking on is the fact that nobody's going to try and fight it in court because it's expensive. And it doesn't cost them a dime. They're using taxpayer money. So they don't care.
So you're paying for it twice.
Yeah. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that we're holding our elected representatives accountable and making sure that the constituents know, yeah, you may think this is a good idea. However, we know it's not going to stand up, and we know it's going to cost the state millions in legal fees, or it's going to cost the city millions in legal fees. Like all the stupid cities in Pennsylvania that keep passing their own gun control laws when Pennsylvania has a preemption law. They know it's a violation of that preemption law, but they do it anyway. So it's stuff like that, gang. So make sure you're talking to those representatives. Some states have recall ability. Some states don't. Check into that. If you've got politicians that are purposely doing stuff like this, see if you can recall them. Ultimately, though, just make sure you're paying attention. Be nice. Be polite. Support the organizations. Make sure you're paying attention to where your money's going and what they're doing with it. If you're struggling, we want you here. We need you here. There's people out there helping you that can help you fight that fight. 988 or 1-800-273-8255. If you're current or retired military onesource.mil, or Walk to Talk America. Walk to Talk America is not a immediate crisis contact. 988, 1-800-273-8255 are a crisis contact. And what I mean by crisis is you're not doing well, and those thoughts of starting to figure out ways to end your life are creeping in. That's crisis. You need to pick up the phone. It gets better, gang. It does. It may not seem like it, but it does. So start fighting. Hang in there. And thanks very much.
Thank you, guys.
Good night, all.
Take care. Be safe. Stay warm.